The hardest part of losing weight is giving up sweets. And this has nothing to do with willpower. Strong cravings for cookies, pastries, and candy are driven by biology. Weight loss is a form of stress, both psychological and internal. Dopamine levels drop, your mood becomes less stable, sometimes even flat and low. The brain doesn't like that, so it starts looking for the fastest way back to pleasure, and that path almost always leads straight to sugar. That's exactly why, according to studies on eating behavior, people who rely on dieting or fasting to lose weight most often relapse on cookies, chocolate, or baked goods. These foods give an instant hit to the brain's reward system, but just as quickly leave a sense of emptiness and a new urge for just one more bite. That's why the strategy of just cutting out all sweets rarely works. It's much smarter not to fight your craving for sweets, but to outsmart it by making healthy sweets yourself. Let me show you a few simple but genuinely tasty recipes. Let's start with candy. To make healthy candies, you'll need about 100 grams of oats. This is the key ingredient that makes these candies work. It's important that the oats contain no added sugar and are not instant or quick cooking. Oats are still carbohydrates, but slow ones. That means your blood sugar rises gradually after eating them, without sharp spikes, and that keeps your insulin under control. Just as important, oats are rich in fiber, which slows digestion and helps blunt hunger hormones. Grind the oats into fine crumbs using a blender. Now it's time to add flavor to trick your taste buds. A teaspoon of honey works perfectly here, adding a touch of sweetness. Add a teaspoon of pure cocoa powder with no sugar for a chocolate note, and a pinch of vanilla for a sweet aroma. It's important to understand that honey, cocoa, and vanilla are essentially decoys for the body. None of these ingredients will significantly help or harm your figure, but their role is just as important. It's psychological. These three ingredients act like a small dopamine trigger, switching on the pleasure response. When food tastes good, when it's enjoyable, it no longer feels like a punishment, even though it's still healthy. The second key ingredient in these healthy weight loss candies is banana. Cut it into small pieces, then mash it with a fork until it becomes a smooth puree. After that, add the banana puree to the oat, honey, cocoa, and vanilla mixture. Banana is one of the few fruits that, thanks to its resistant starch, becomes excellent fuel for your gut microbiome. A healthy microbiome actively boosts the release of satiety hormones like GLP-1 and PYY. These are the exact signals that tell your brain, that's enough, you're full. By the way, these are the same hormones targeted by drugs like Ozempic, so it's fair to say that banana can create a similar effect naturally. From the finished mixture, shape small balls. For extra flavor, you can roll them in cocoa powder or shredded coconut, then place them in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. After that, your healthy weight loss candies are ready. This kind of dessert does two important things at once. It satisfies your sweet cravings by activating the pleasure system, and at the same time it slows digestion and actively supports the release of satiety hormones. And if you want a dessert that doesn't just avoid slowing your weight loss but actually helps it, then the next recipe is definitely for you. Grate 1 carrot on a fine grater. Then grate an apple the same way and mix it with the carrot. Add some low-fat, unsweetened yogurt or a spoon of sour cream. For flavor, you can add a pinch of cinnamon or that same vanilla. With almost no effort and very little time, you get a fruit and vegetable salad that not only satisfies your taste buds, but also helps you get rid of extra weight. The main secret of this salad is the apple. Apples contain a compound called pectin, which helps blunt the insulin response. In simple terms, it helps your body naturally switch into fat-burning mode. The carrot is another source of fiber, which, as you already know, slows digestion and suppresses hunger. And the yogurt feeds your gut microbiome. So, with just one dessert, you're covering the key foundations of weight loss: appetite control, lower insulin, and a healthy gut. Apples can also be used as a standalone dessert. It takes just a little more time to prepare than the previous recipes. For this recipe, it's important to choose green apples with a slight tartness. Cut out the core, then fill the center with nuts, or a bit of honey, or some cinnamon. Place the apples on a baking tray and bake them in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 25 minutes. When an apple bakes, some of its natural sugars caramelize. The flavor becomes sweeter and deeper. At the same time, the pectin still helps blunt the insulin response and calm your appetite. The real value of this dessert is that, taste-wise, it can easily replace sweet pastries. And because it doesn't heavily burden digestion, it's actually the only dessert I mentioned today that you can even have after dinner. First and foremost, this is a tool that simply makes weight loss easier, and that matters a lot. Losing weight has to feel easy mentally and psychologically. Stress will block your progress no matter what you do. So don't fight yourself. Don't rely on willpower alone, just outsmart your body. Subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more simple, useful recipes that make weight loss easier. And make sure to check out the previous video on the channel where I showed a quick fat-burning breakfast recipe.